Arsenal revealed plan for £86 million midfielder that would be a much better investment than Curtis Jones. And Mikel Arteta feels pressured by £53 million deal. All this and much more coming up. But before that, if you are also passionate about Arsenal, subscribe to the channel now and stay up to date with everything that happens behind the scenes of the biggest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's get to today's news. Over the past 24 hours, Arsenal have been increasingly linked with interest in Liverpool midfielder Curtis Jones, who has made a ton of progress of late. Mikel Arteta is clearly not finished with his midfield rebuild, hence the constant links to Douglas Luiz and others, and with Arsenal still struggling to nail down their number 8 position, Curtis Jones would seem a sensible choice. Jones has long been considered to have a high ceiling, a midfielder with all the technical attributes needed to excel at Arsenal. However, signing 22-year-old Jones from a Premier League rival would either prove impossible or incredibly expensive. Jones is now in the best position he has ever been in to start under Klopp, and he may not want to change either. And with that in mind, and with Arsenal having more specific needs at the moment, it would be much better to advise a transfer for João Neves from Benfica. The 19-year-old is Europe's next big midfield prospect, a player who could already cost as much as £86 million. However, that would be money much better spent. João Neves is the midfielder Arsenal need, not Curtis Jones. Thus Arsenal do have an issue in the position vacated by Granit Xhaka. They don't need to sign a new number 8. Declan Rice seemed envisioned for that exact role, something that had to change when Thomas Partey suffered a long-term injury. I doubt Mikel Arteta imagined Kai Havertz playing every game as the left-sided midfielder, a player who is a natural shadow striker. If Arsenal signed a midfielder like Neves, the middle three would be sorted for years to come, whereas Jones would merely paper over the cracks. In an ideal world, Arteta would be able to sign both, but that's not the case. Arsenal were very interested in signing Ilkay Gundogan in the summer, and Benfica's João Neves looks to be his successor. If Arteta was able to secure Curtis Jones from Liverpool, it would of course be a huge coup. However, that money can be better spent. It would be a huge opportunity missed if Arsenal didn't make any attempt to sign Neves, a player who will otherwise end up at a Barcelona or a Manchester City. It's a move for the summer, but one that should be a priority. Of course, if Arsenal do want to pursue any business in January, they do have a £27 million player they could swiftly move on. Mikel Arteta keen on Martin Zubimendi deal. Questions have been raised over Arsenal's midfield options after a poor run of results in recent weeks, and the January window may provide an opportunity to strengthen the position. Arsenal were particularly poor in their defeat to Fulham on Sunday, as they struggled to create chances and failed to control the game in the middle, unlike in previous defeats. Declan Rice has been outstanding since his arrival at Arsenal, whilst Kai Havertz has been hot and cold after initially struggling to make an impact. Mikel Arteta may now be keen on another option in midfield, with Thomas Partey also struggling with injury, and Douglas Luiz has been linked, but the Aston Villa star appears to be unattainable. It has now emerged that Arteta is still keen on Real Sociedad star Martin Zubimendi. Speaking to Give Me Sport, journalist Dean Jones revealed that Arteta is a driving force behind Arsenal's interest in the Spanish midfielder. There's definitely some serious interest in it. It's hard to gauge at the moment what their ranking would be in terms of order of targets, because you've got a few names that they're looking at, and the type of player is clearly that defensive-minded one, he claimed. The guy that is going to keep possession, break up play. But it's really tough to know whether Zubimendi is going to be a top target or just a target. Arsenal's January budget may be limited as a result of financial fair play limitations, and this will certainly play a part in any potential deal. It also depends, of course, on how much money they have to invest in that area of the field. It's a player that definitely I know that Mikel Arteta really admires, and I think a lot of this is led by him. Could Arsenal sign Martin Zubimendi? Previous indications were that Zubimendi was ready to reject all interest and stay at Real Sociedad, despite both Arsenal and Barcelona being keen on the 24-year-old. Zubimendi has a £53 million release clause, meaning that if Arsenal were able to afford the fee up front, they would simply have to convince the player to make the move. With Real Sociedad also in the Champions League knockout stages, it seems highly unlikely that he would agree to a move in the middle of the season, and unless Arsenal make major sales, they will not be able to afford his fee. However, a summer move could still be on the cards if Zubimendi is keen on a new challenge at the end of the season. But this would all come down to player preference if the clause is still active in 6 months. Arsenal star wanted by Saudis. Gunners outcast Mohamed Elneny is wanted by teams in Saudi Arabia, according to reports. The Egyptian has hardly featured for Arsenal this term. According to the Standard, Elneny is wanted by Al Shabab and Al Fatah. Cedric available for transfer. Arsenal fringe player Cedric Soares is attracting interest this month. The fullback has entered the last 6 months of his £100,000 a week at the Emirates. According to the Standard, the Portuguese is liked by La Liga side Villarreal, while Turkish duo Trabzonspor and Beşiktaş could also make a swoop. Well, folks, those were today's news. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay informed about everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell so you won't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and see you in the next video.